Finally, dude. Okay, this is literally my third take trying to do this because the first time just felt completely awkward. The entire intro just was stupid. And then the second time it had a pretty freaking good intro, and then realized all of my notes that are currently on my phone right now, my phone's recording this right now. It was on my phone, so I had to stop that. And I was like, I'm going to cut it, but it's like, no, let's just redo this sucker. Third time is a charm. So what I was saying in my previous intro was the fact that we're towards the end of the UFC season, and me and Bianca's coming back tonight. It is Thursday. I really wanted to get an episode out beforehand, but I just didn't really get around to it, and it stinks though because UFC 269 was by far one of the most exciting cards of the year. I know I say that about every single one, but genuinely, it was. If I didn't nickel for every time I freaking said genuinely one of the best cards ever, but it really was something insane. There was a lot of interesting talking points too, that were kind of brought up as each fight got finished, and some things I agree with, some things I don't. But anyways, me and Bianca, we really want to do we're obviously going to do the end of the year episode where I'm going to go through with my picks and talk about my favorite fights of the year, obviously, that kind of went under the radar, fighters that potentially went under the radar that need more recognition, and then fighters that are potentially going to explode in 2022. And it just so happens, we'll get to it later, but there's a couple fighters fighting on this fight night this weekend that are absolute dark horses in their divisions and could light it up. And there was one person that commented on my video, one of the comments, solid comments, one of my, one of the fans, they wanted me to talk about Amanda Lemos more. And I talked about her prior in a video where I ranked some of my favorite women's fighters and which ones are must-see TV every single time. And I did the same thing with men's fighters, I believe. But I guess since we're kind of in this, I want to keep this sucker under 20 minutes. But I guess since we're on the topic of Amanda Lemos, let's bring her up. And then we'll talk about my second dark horse that's on this card. Okay, Amanda Lemos. I mean, one of the most scary 115ers in the entire UFC division. And the reason for this is a lot of the girls in Strawweight, they're really good, really technical. There's some really good technical strikers, but not a lot of them could put your lights out. And if there's one that everybody needs to be on notice for, it's Amanda Lemos, because one punch knockout power. The first fight I watched her was in the Lavinia Souza fight. Yeah, Lavinia Souza fight. And it was a power jab. It wasn't even a haymaker shot. It was just an accumulation of strikes and then just powerful shots that Souza absorbed, and then finally it was just a power jab that just dropped her right down on her butt while she was against the fence. And from that point on, I've been absolutely captivated by Amanda Lemos, and I'm going to follow her for as long as possible. She's 34, she's right in her prime, and then when she fought Montserrat, I literally told my dad, I was like, dude, this fight is not going to last, and you're going to want to watch this girl fight because she has some seriously ill intentions when she throws heat-seeking missiles for 115. You don't see that often, especially in the smaller weight divisions. You don't see people that are putting people's lights out. And yeah, Amanda Lemos, I want to look up really fast. I don't think is she ranked? She better be, dude. Strawweight. Amanda Lemos, number 11. Oh yeah, she's fighting Angela Hill, yeah. Yeah, is that right? Pretty sure she's fighting Angela Hill. That's going to be an interesting fight. I just feel really bad for Angela Hill because nobody else in this UFC in the division hits like Amanda Lemos, and I really think that she could become a serious champion. But first, before she becomes champion, I have a lot of faith that Mahina Rodriguez is going to be right up there. Same with Yan Jonan, as long as she gets that grappling game down, because Carla Esparza kind of exposed her a little bit there. Mac Dern's right up there. Tisha Torres is a freaking tornado there. The women's strawweight division, like I've said multiple times, is one of my favorites to watch, just because they have so much skill. They're so technical, but there's something that the other people don't have, and that's power. And Amanda Lemos is basically the one that has the most power in the entire top 15. She can put out anybody in the division with one punch. The other one that has pretty good striking, though, is Marina Rodriguez. She can take a shot, and then she'll throw 5 or 6 shots at you. Her boxing is phenomenal. But Amanda Lemos, serious dark horse. I'll talk more about her in an upcoming episode, because she's seriously primed to explode, especially if she gets this win over a tough Angela Hill. She could hold that belt by the end of 2022. Hot take. And then next one, I was thinking about this literally in the shower, and I was like, dude, I need to talk about this right now, because this man by the name of Mateusz Gamrot is also primed to have one of the biggest 2022s, especially if he can get this dub against a tough Diego Ferreira. I really think this fight this is obviously a big step up in competition for Mateusz, and Diego is not you cannot overlook this guy. His scrambles, especially in his Gregor Gillespie fight, it's so much fun to watch him on the ground, and that's Mateusz Gamrot's game. He's the gamer. He likes to get you to the ground. He's going to get on a single or a double, and he's trying to get you to the ground, and then he's going to find a submission. And this is what I really wanted to bring up. When it comes to 155 pounders, there's so many dangerous guys. There's so many dangerous strikers. There's dangerous grapplers. But in terms, like Chilson and everybody's saying, one of the biggest things that makes you the most dangerous, obviously, I'm being Captain Obvious right now, but it's the fact that you have to have multiple ways to win fights. When one aspect isn't going for you, you have to just be able to adapt, and that's what Charles Oliveira does. He knew he was outmatched on the feet for the most part. I mean, power-wise with Dustin Poirier, but he finds a way to get it to the ground, and he finds a way to get Dustin into his realm. And that's what Mateusz does. He uses he's got pretty slick boxing. I really like how high his guard is. I really like his feints, and he just always has his opponent on edge, kind of, because they're always looking for that takedown. But he also has the knockout power, which makes him especially scary. We saw that in the Scott Holtzman fight, where he can put you out with a quick 1-2 right down the middle, and then it's lights out, party's over. But the thing is, when you're thinking about that, it gets you distracted from the fact that he can shoot at any time, and he has a really fast takedowns. Like, he's a blur, and then he'll be in on one leg, and he'll be grabbing your ankle, or he'll be working his way, like passing your guard, and then ground and pound, or he'll find your back and he'll choke you out, or he'll slip in a freaking Kimura like he did to Jeremy Stevens. Putting Jeremy Stevens into Kimura is not an easy thing to do. I really think Mateusz, if he can get past Diego Ferreira, the sky's the limit for this guy. He has that one loss to Guram Kataladze, but I also want to talk about him. I don't think he has a fight. He had the Don Maj bout canceled twice, but he's another guy that he trains with Hamzat. Anybody who trains with Hamzat, you got to know he's a savage. And his striking, I watch when he hits mitts on his Instagram or anything. He's just a big, kind of long, lengthy guy, especially at lightweight. This whole entire lightweight division, I mean, everything got kind of jacked up because I did my episode on a Monday, and then the rankings get updated on Tuesday, so that kind of messed everything up. But I made some cuts, use my editing skills. But Joel Alvarez, Brad Riddell, Arman Saruki, and Rafael Fiziev insert Mateusz Gamrot after he gets a dub over Diego Ferreira. If he does, I am not going to dismiss Diego Ferreira because he's so dangerous. And I believe this man has been so criminally underrated. I believe he was in the top 5 for a long time. I had no idea who this guy was, and then we saw him fight Beneil Dariush. That was a tough loss, and then obviously Gregor Gillespie got the best of him, but Gregor's an absolute stud. And the Gregor Gillespie, I know I'm going off on a tangent right now because Kevin Lee's on my mind because he just signed with Eagle FC, which is a big move. I kind of want to talk about 165 pound division a little bit, like if UFC was to get one. But Gregor Gillespie, he lost to Kevin Lee, and Kevin Lee's an absolute man. He's a big man. Like, he's so good, and I feel like that win just goes to show where Kevin Lee belongs. He belongs in the UFC, no doubt. He just hasn't had that right weight class, and I really was thinking hard about this, what UFC fighters would benefit most from it, 65, and obviously first one that comes to mind is besides Kevin Lee, because Kevin Lee is the poster boy for 165 pound division, but it is, to me, you could go Colby Covington all day. And then obviously Dustin Poirier. I got to think about more, but some of the tweeners, I know it's like hard to justify 165-pound division because the fighters, it's just so few and far between, you know, because you got guys that can make 155 and they're pretty good. Oh, and then Joel Alvarez, you know, he's been missing 155 I think the past 2 times now, and he would be a good 165er probably because his 6'3" frame. But yeah, I was trying to, if you could, I'm interested to see if you guys could come up with a solid 165-pound division. I mean, obviously there's not a ton of guys, but there's definitely some tweeners in there that, like a Gilbert Burns, someone like that, even Jorge Masvidal. Yeah, I was just really thinking, like, if I could ask Dana White one question, it would probably be, with the UFC and MMA kind of evolving so rapidly, you know, could you see eventually a shift to a 165-pound division, scrap 170, go 175, and then just go 55, 65, 75? I really think that is going to be a real option in the future, especially given the fact everything's growing. Mixed martial arts is becoming a mainstream sport that young kids are hopping on the bandwagon. We just saw that Blanchfield girl take out a tough Miranda Maverick, and what is she? She's like 20, in her early 20s, and hasn't missed on a takedown attempt against Miranda Maverick, who a lot of people, including myself, believe that could be a 125-pound champ. Crazy stuff, man. I honestly, in my heart of hearts, nothing's out of question in terms of a 165-pound division in the UFC. It is a very real possibility for the reasons I just stated, you know, because you're getting 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds. They're transitioning from wrestling straight into MMA. Like, you know, like when they get out of high school, they're going straight into MMA. And then they're training jiu-jitsu when they're young kids. Yeah, it's becoming mainstream, and I really think a 165-pound division is going to be a valid option in the future. And Eagle FC, they're going to have some good fighters. You know, I'm going to definitely get a tune in when Kevin Lee fights for sure. Yeah, dude. But going back to Mateusz, Mans is going to be set prime. If he gets this dub, he's going to be sitting pretty, and there's so many fun matchups for him. And to be perfectly honest, when I'm looking at guys in the top 15 that have a chance against him, obviously they do have a chance, but Gamrot's right up there. I mean, he's really similar style to Sarukian, really similar. They're just strong, powerful dudes, man. I don't know how else to explain it. There's just so many players there at 155. Even Thiago Moises just got knocked out of the rankings by Joel Alvarez, but I'm really high on that guy too. He's got a lot of room for improvement, still super young. 155, I know everybody keeps saying 155 is so deep. 155 is so deep. Like, it's the deepest division, but I'm sorry, I gotta give that crown to bantamweight for sure, dude. Okay, so I've got Amanda Lemos. Please look out for her. She's insane. And then I obviously have Mateusz Gamrot, who is the man. I love him so much. He's so much fun to watch, and he just has all of his opponents on edge. I'm really expecting him to get a dub over Diego Ferreira. I really think that he's going to get an impressive first round finish, and just because that's what he did against. I just really want him to ride his momentum, because the sky's the limit for that dude. I really like. He's so humble too. He's a gamer, dude. He's the man. Yeah. Okay. Now, really quick, there's a few things that I want to talk about that have to do with UFC 269, but I'm not going to break down the fight or anything. But I wanted to say Kai Kara-France, amazing against Cody Garbrandt, but title shot, I really don't know. Everybody wants to give him a title shot, and I'm sure so many people tuned into UFC 269 that they wouldn't be mad. There's just a lot of dudes up there that deserve a title shot too. Because you're having Moreno and Figueiredo. They're going to fight. Askar Askarov, by far, is the most deserving. He can beat seriously anybody. He went to draw with the current champ right now. Alexander Pantoja puts it on anybody. And Manel Cap, you got to insert him too, because he's at 14 and he's just as good as anybody in the top 5. We saw that. He went toe-to-toe with Alexander Pantoja in his first fight in the UFC, and Yeah, dude. I can't wait to also go through this fight night too. There's so many kind of parallels, I feel like, between these last few cards and this last fight night, which is really exciting. And one thing, I know I'm kind of all over the place here, but if has to be, in my opinion, the prime time, the best time in UFC history. Because I was looking at the UFC schedule, because I was going through schedule. I was looking for UFC schedule. And the amount of amazing events that have been put on back to back to back since the Kamaru-Usman fight is absolutely incredible. So we had Usman coming in 2. And then we had Holloway, Rodriguez, Yair. And then we had Vieira Tate, Font Aldo, Oliveira Poirier, and now this Daukaus card versus Derek Lewis. And then I'm not just saying the main events, but just all the fights underneath and the undercard and prelims. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. A person can there's fights on every single level, early prelims, and on the main card that will captivate anybody from around the world as long as you just see the right fight. There's at least 1 or 2 fights on each of those levels of the early prelims, and main card where it's like, dude, that's legit. That's like what I want to watch every single time. When Song Yadong fights, when Billy Quarantillo fights, Rafael Fiziev will captivate anybody. Arman Sarukian. There's just so many good guys. And notice how I just said a bunch of 155ers. But Adrian Yanez, guys like that. Those are the dudes that get people excited and will just make fans for life. You know what I mean? Another thing, I keep saying one thing, another thing. Next for Sean O'Malley. One thing I wanted to say, keep saying that. Sean, fight Song Yadong, dude. Fight Song Yadong. You're not in any rush. I mean, here's the deal. I really have grown to appreciate Sean O'Malley's skills. Raulian Paiva's a dude. He is a guy. He's the dude that everybody believed was the toughest test. I still think Chito Vera obviously is the toughest test. Sean O'Malley's got to fight either Song Yadong or... Okay, I'm really fast. This is what I'm going to say right now. Sean O'Malley beat Frankie Edgar, Pedro Munoz, Marlon Moraes. He beats Dominic Cruz. He gives Rob Font problems, I promise. Marab, no chance. Corey Sandhagen definitely gives him definitely beats Sean. Jose, you never know. I don't know. And TJ Dillashaw, you never know. You seriously don't know. Piotr Jan, nobody's beating that guy. That guy's the best in the entire world. Yeah, Aljamain, Sean probably has a good chance. Just going through that, though, those are the top guys in the bantamweight division, and for the majority of them, I can see Sean O'Malley beating them, but there's a few guys. Song Yadong can definitely beat Sean O'Malley for shizzle. And then our boy Chito Vera. A lot of people don't think that Chito Vera can win in that fight, in a rematch, as long as his leg doesn't go out. But Chito Vera, that guy is... I really want to watch his episode on Joe Rogan. That guy's one of the most resilient dudes you'll see. His story, I mean, his background, he's so tough. And it's respect. Like, at the end of the day, when you're watching a fight, you don't always want to see guys high-five in between every round. Chito's, I respect the fact that he goes in there, all he cares about is his family and nothing else, and winning. And I love that about him. And it may rub people the wrong way when he doesn't think he gets a decision and he won't really show a ton of respect, but he trains his butt off for that moment. And if he believes he won a fight, I don't really blame him for being not the best sport, especially if a fight is really close, like the Song Yadong fight. But I think it was a close fight, but you got to kind of give it up to a guy like Song. Song's going to bring the fight to you. He's not trying to stay away from you. He's not trying to outpoint you. He's trying to finish you every single time. So that's what it kind of sucked that he didn't give Song a ton of respect. But I know people didn't really like the fact that he didn't, he like flipped off Frankie at one point in the fight or something, and he didn't show a ton of respect. But it is all love at the end of the day. Marlon's a good dude. And I'm a big fan of him. I really wish they put him in the UFC freaking video game. There's so many guys that I wish were in UFC 4 that I want to play with. Such as Giga Chikadze, such as Chito Vera, such as Rafael Fiziev. Just insane strikers that would be so much fun to just do stand and bangs with. Who else would be really good? I was trying to go through and pick somebody at like each weight class that I would really enjoy having on the, but I'll do that for our awards episode because I need to go through. But yeah, it's crazy that I stopped my really good intro on my second attempt, but I haven't even really looked at my notes. Okay, is there anything else regarding UFC 269? Ceiling on Tai Tuivasa. I really am liking what I'm seeing from this guy. I think, what did he drop? He dropped, did he drop 3 fights in a row? Or was it 3 or 2 fights? Let me check. Yeah, he dropped fights to Junior Dos Santos, Blago Ivanov, and Sergey Spivak. All tough guys. And then he comes back against Hunsucker Struve, Greg Hardy, and Gesto Sakai, who's a world-class striker. So, he kind of just stalks you down, dude. And he's got the one-punch knockout power, and he has clean boxing. And one question mark I don't know, but he did shoot for a takedown, so that's got to show a little bit of confidence, right, in his ground game abilities. I don't know, man. I see this guy challenging at the top. A few more wins? Why not give him Derek Lewis? Why not give him Alexander Volkov, you know? Especially that Alexander Volkov fight is extremely interesting because Volkov can get touched up, even though he's so long. And I believe Ty can get in the inside and light him up. Tom Aspinall's right up there with another dark horse. And then heavyweight division, he can take down basically anybody. He doesn't have that really like thudding knockout power. We saw that in the Andrei Arlovsky fight, but Andrei's chin is complete cement. So we don't really know. I know Tom can put you out, no doubt. Yeah, he took out Sergey Spivak with an elbow or whatever. I thought that was going to maybe be an upset. I was so wrong. But Tai Tuivasa, maybe give him freaking winner of Lewis Daukaus. Jump him up there. He's a big fan favorite. Imagine what he does for the sport if he becomes a champ or gets in that top 5, top 3. He does so much. Fan engagement. He genuinely cares about fans. And you can just tell he's a genuinely nice person. He's not just there for the sport. He's there for the whole entire experience. And that just gives off an accepting vibe. And people just want to get behind you. They want to back you. And that's going to increase pay-per-view numbers. You better believe. And when Dana White sees money signs, he's going to propel him. And I really think that this is what they had envisioned for Tai Tuivasa the entire time. He's genuinely not scared of anybody. When I saw him in his win against Greg Hardy is a freaking scary person to be standing across from, especially when he's giving you the death stare. And Ty doesn't care. He doesn't look fazed by the moment. No moment is too big for that guy, and it's serious respect. I think the sky's the limit for him as well. He can become a champion. I know it's a tough task. Cyril Gane, Francis Ngannou at the top of the mountain. Those men are beasts. But at the end of the day, it comes down to mindset. And if you're not scared of anybody, you got a shot. And Ty went from unranked to number 11 just like that. And he could jump another freaking 5-6 spots with a win over. You could I would give him the loser of Lewis Daukaus, or you could give him like a Rosenstrike or something. But I really like that. In terms of if I'm like his manager, a Volkov fight would be fantastic for him. But yeah, that's it, dude. I'm a believer in Tai Tuivasa. He's not just a fluke. He's really putting stuff together, and he's gonna make some noise at heavyweight. Okay, so we've got Amanda Lemos, key fighter to watch in the card. We've got that done. Yeah, okay, let's go through the card altogether, I guess. Just some quick picks. Keep the sucker under 30, I guess, because I'm a little over that now. yeah, this card. All right, we'll go through my faves. Charles Jourdain, Andre Ewell. This is the sleeper fight of the night to watch. Andre Ewell, very dynamic. He's coming off a couple losses, though. He fought Julio Arce, which is never easy. Never easy. And then Chris Gutierrez, who's also another dynamic striker. But before they got to win over Erwin Rivera, who was a tough guy while he's in the UFC, and Jonathan Martinez, who, as we've seen, is a phenom. And then Charles Jourdain, same kind of guy. Really exciting. Both of these guys' styles are just a classic UFC match. A classic undercard bout between Charles Jourdain and Andre Ewell. You're just going to see two guys that are going to put it all on the line, and somebody's going to come out on top, dude. I really am liking Charles Jourdain in this fight, but Andre Ewell could surprise me for sure. And then Tafa's got such good head movement. I really like Justin Tafa versus Harry Hunsucker. Tafa's going to get this dub because I just have faith in him, dude. He's a scrapper. He's kind of just like Carlos Felipe. He lost that split decision to Carlos Felipe, but he's got a pretty good gas tank as well for being such a big guy. And really like his head movement, really like his boxing. I think he's going to get the job done. Raoni Barcelos. This is what I'm going to talk about here. Raoni Barcelos got absolutely screwed in his Timur Valiev fight. I thought he won that fight. When you knock somebody down like twice, that should be enough to win you the fight. Honestly, when you knock someone down twice in the second round and then all the other rounds are razor thin, you should not give the fight to the other guy. It should come down to damage, and it should come down to the fact that the other guy didn't even come close to what you did to him. Did Timur Valiev knock him down? Absolutely not. Did he knock Timur Valiev down twice? Around that, like once or twice? Yeah, he did. So he should get the dub, especially when all rounds 1 and 2 or 1 and 3 or whatever were not even that close. And Raoni Barcelos, he is another one of my dark horses, dude. 100% a dark horse at bantamweight. Bantamweight is one of the most stacked divisions in the sport. We already know this, but he stands out amongst a lot of other guys because he can stand with anybody and bang. He's got great grappling, dude. I mean, he's got all of the makings to be right up there in terms of I want to go through like who would give him problems. I mean, a lot of guys. He can beat his sons out. He beat Edgar. He beats. As much as it sucks to say, he probably beats Yadong. He probably beats Stamen. I give him a great shot against Sean. He definitely can beat Marlon Moraes. Definitely can beat Pedro Munoz. Definitely can beat Dominic Cruz, Marlon Vera. Like he's a top 5. He's a secret top 5 bantamweight, and that's a fact. He can beat anybody in the top 15. He can beat anybody in the top 10. Top 5 is where it gets a little hairy in there, as in terms of guaranteeing. But Raoni, he's the guy, and I really like him in this fight. I don't even know who's really fighting, dude, honestly. I was really upset. He should not have lost his last fight, and more people need to talk about bad judging because there's a few fights in there, such as Jeff Neal versus Santiago Ponzinibbio. What are we doing there? A 30-27? No, I thought Ponzinibbio won. I was surprised at the fact that so many people thought Jeff Neal won. I don't know. Attack me now in the comments, honestly. Attack me now, because there's been so many fights. Is bad reffing just going to become a thing? Honestly. Is it just going to become a part of the UFC altogether? I really don't want it to be. I get sick and tired of this crap, dude. There's so many fights that go under the radar, such as Khalil Roundtree versus Marcin Prachnio. Khalil Roundtree knocked the guy down like 3 times in one fight. Had him absolutely bruised and battered and still lost. I don't understand that. It's mind-boggling how many bad decisions there are, and it seems like the same freaking guys. They're judging the same fights every single time. I don't get it. I don't understand. Open scoring, please. Open scoring. And I was thinking, what's one of the hardest jobs in the entire world? Who keeps track of significant strikes? Who keeps track of the leg kicks? Who keeps track of the punches? How do we know that that's an exact number? Like, how do we even know that? Even though the judges don't know those numbers, but when I'm seeing it on the screen, who's keeping track of that? In some of these firefights, it gets crazy. You need to have sensors in the gloves or something, bro. I certainly couldn't do it. It happened too fast. And who's to say it's significant? I don't know. Raoni Barcelos, though, he's the man. He's gonna get this dub over Victor Henry, and he can beat anybody in the world, and he's gonna get up there. Trust me. He's on the outside looking in terms of looking in on the top 15. Gerald Meerschaert, upset of the century against Mahmoud Miradov, dude. Was not expecting that. Dustin Stoltz's coming off that tough dub against Adolfo Vieira. Adolfo's finally get it rolling. He gassed out against the Hernandez guy. What's his name? Is it Anthony? Yeah. Was it Anthony Hernandez? Let me check. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Anthony Hernandez is kind of a stud. Okay. Now, I'm going Gerald all day. Gerald's got my faith back. I was doubting him. I was seriously doubting him after the Hamzat fight. But you gotta remember, Hamzat's Hamzat. And Hamzat needs to fight Andre Muniz. And that is a fact. Andre Muniz versus Hamzat Chimaev would be one of the craziest fights ever. Because you're gonna have two guys that are just going like this, trying to take you down. Andre Muniz, it's only a matter of time before he gets your back. It's only a matter of time before he gets a submission attempt in. Hamzat Chimaev, it's only a matter of time before he gets a double leg on you. It's only a matter of time before he takes your back or passes your guard and starts pounding you. It'd be a fun fight. I have honestly no idea who would win that fight. Okay, Darren the Damage Elkins versus Cub Swanson. Derek Minner just fought. Did pretty good against Ryan Hall, but couldn't get the job done. But I think Darren Elkins is going to get this dub over Cub Swanson. I'm rooting for Darren Elkins. He's the man. Even though Cub Swanson he's so good, but I'm not even going to, like, the Giga Chikadze fight doesn't even count. It was a Giga kick. What are you going to do? You know? But I'm just pulling for Darren Elkins. Dude, he went from literally 0 to 100. He went from, 5-fight losing streak? He's the man. He had a 4-fight losing streak. And then he beat Garagor, who nobody expected. Not even me. And then he beat Derek Minner. Now he's going to go, let's make it a 3-fight win streak, dude. Go out on top. Then we talked about the Mateusz Gamrot, Diego Fajeda fight. Rafael Sunsao versus Ricky Simón. That's what I'm going to say here. Another guy at the bantamweight division who's going to put everybody on notice is Ricky Simón. I follow this guy. He's a stud. He'll hold you on the mat for 15 minutes or he'll knock you out. And that's what I love about him, dude. And this Sunsao fight, has a Sunsao fought since the Garbrandt fight? No, he hasn't. Oh, dude. A Sunsao was going to fight Raoni and Kyler Phillips? That's tough. But Ricky Simón is going to he's going to turn this in. If he turns this into a 4-fight win streak, bro, is he even ranked? Is Ricky ranked? I don't even think Ricky's ranked. Dude, Ricky Simón, I really wanted him. He had a little bit of steam with Sean O'Malley, but that didn't come into fruition, obviously. I would really have liked that fight to happen. Ricky will put your lights out. Standing or on the ground. I love Ricky. He's so much fun to watch, dude. Brian Kelleher, basically, that one... dude, what's his name, bro? It was like Domingo Pilarte. Oh, shoot, cease. Brian Boom Kelleher is going to be fighting Syed Yakub Kakramanov, the guy who beat Trevin 5-Star Jones, bro. That's crazy. That's going to be sick. Syed Yakub Kakramanov doesn't get tired. Like, that's a fact. He, doesn't get tired at all. So, and he'll ground and pound you. He'll hold you up against the fence and just beat on you for 15 minutes. That's going to be crazy. I'm looking forward to that fight. Brian Boom Kelleher does not give up. It's going to be a grinder of a match. I'm going to be tired watching that fight for sure. Dang, that's going to be a grinder. Serious grinder. Go Brian. Go Syed Yakub. Love him. Rafael Sunsao versus Ricky Simón. Ricky Simón's going to get that dub all day. Amanda Lemos is going to get that knockout over Angela Hill. Trust me, first round knockout, dude. First round knockout. Angela Hill's tough, though. She's tough, but I don't see it. Stephen Thompson, Bilal Muhammad. Everybody's talking about Hamzat Chimaev. Bilal, you don't want any of Hamzat, honestly. Hamzat is the man. I'm not to brag or anything, but I kind of owned Hamzat. Who was I? I forget who I was in UFC 4, but I owned him. I stuffed all of his takedowns, and then I cracked him a few times. Oh, I was Vicente Luque, dude. I pieced him up on the feet a little bit. That's a good fight. That's a good fight right there. Vicente Luque's ground game's underrated. Stephen Thompson, Bilal Muhammad, though. I'm going Stephen Thompson. He's going to bounce back. It's going to be a tough fight. It's going to be a grimy fight, but I think Stephen's going to get the dub here. You know, Gilbert Burns kind of put it on him, but Gilbert Burns did get hurt a few times. And I think that same kind of style in that Gilbert Burns fight is going to happen here. Bilal Muhammad's going to kind of get him on the fence a little bit, maybe get him to the ground, but Steven's going to crack him. Bilal's going to I don't know. I like Bilal, though. He's great. Derek Lewis, Chris Daukaus. It's a new time. Chris Daukaus is going to get the win. I don't know. Derek Lewis, though, never bet against that guy because all it takes one shot. One shot. So, I mean, let me see here. What are we at? 34? I mean, that's a Joe Rogan style podcast. 34 minutes. Dude, that's like a quarter. Not even. That's like a quarter or a fifth of a Joe Rogan podcast, honestly. I'm excited, though. Do you guys want to hear a little bit of my questions that I have for next one? Next episode? I'm gonna name a few fighters that deserve a lot of recognition that don't get talked about nearly enough. But yeah, I'm not gonna. Also, for my fight of the year picks, I'm not gonna be super like obvious. Obviously, we got Chandler Gaethje. I'm not gonna say that, but I am gonna say a few of the Brad Riddell fights because that guy's the guy. He's the man. But okay, I'm gonna sign off here. I got a few things off my chest. Lemos, Mateusz, Gamrot, Ricky Simón. This fight card is going to be headline right now, dude. Gamrot versus Amanda Lemos. I mean, that would be not good. We don't want Amanda Lemos versus Mateusz Gamrot. But this fight card is low-key, has guys setting them up into going to 2022. Ricky Simón, Mateusz, Amanda Lemos, Hannah Barcelos. Let's go. Those are the people. They're ballers, dude. All right, signing off. Thank you guys so much. I'll try to get this out ASAP. Bye.